Week one is in the books, and it is Thursday, and it's way too early for me to be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway because I love you. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and start off by recapping week one and giving out my awards for week one, kind of putting a bow on it. We can move on and move week two, which is today's Thursday morning, so games are today and then Sunday. I'll go ahead and preview the matchups for this week, and then I'll give a little more info about things I've done within the league. So we will start with, and I'm just going to go in order in which it shows on ESPN, so I'm not trying to pick on anybody or anything like that. So first game is Chris losing to Paul by 12, 139, 127, which Paul needed a buttload of points from his kicker on Monday Night Football because everybody else kind of underperformed or was kind of even. So uh, the Falcons kicker he had, and he just like kept drilling field goals. So that basically helped him kind of bump up and win. So congrats to you. Judith beating Eris by, well, actually, it was kind of close up until Monday Night Football. And then Carlos Hyde decided to go buck wild. And then she had the Niners defense who absolutely killed Minnesota. And so it was kind of close. And then she decided to say, I'm just going to kick your ass. So, oh, by the way, how's that auto draft working out for you? I mean, you didn't draft most of the players, but shoot, they all worked for you. So congrats there. Uh, Next game was, I don't even want to go into Brittany's game, honestly. I don't think it needs to be said. What happened? It was kind of like a mirage, a shooting star that just you blink and you're like, wow, it's amazing. But it's only 1 week, and I try to remind her of that. But she likes to bask in the glory of the fact that this is her first time playing fantasy football, and she's like, yay, Felix, I love this. And she becomes Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, and everybody she picks up gets 20 points, and she acts, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. For some reason she knows what she's doing. It's crazy. And poor Edwin, who played her, had the worst week, had everybody underperform. So it was the biggest beatdown. I mean, it happens, it's fantasy. Then I played Lamar and lost by 8. Lamar won 150 to 142, which I like to take slight solace in knowing that I scored the most out of the losers, so I'm the best loser. So yay to me. But he had a bunch of people playing Monday Night Football, and there was no way I was going to catch up, especially because he had like DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce, and I wasn't touching it. No, I think my kicker and my defense were my highest scoring outside of Chris Ivory, so like I wasn't going to win. So congrats to you. And then the closest game was Marcus and Andrew, uh, 136, 131. So I think Andrew had 2 Monday Night Football players, but they didn't bump him over the top. I think he was down by like 20 or something like that, but they didn't kind of get it done. So Marcus ended up winning that. So now 1 week is done. So yay, we've already started. We're all in this together. So this is going to be exciting because I said I'd do it. I'm doing it every week. So here are the awards, the 5 awards in which I decided to kind of institute every week to kind of recap the week and have a little fun with it. So the Sports Happens Award is going to go to Marcus because he had 2 guys who didn't score a point and still won, which really shouldn't happen. He started Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins didn't do anything, and he started the kicker for the Colts, and they didn't even kick an extra point or a field goal. But thankfully, he had Big Ben, and Alex Smith decided to learn how to be a competent quarterback, so he's found a way to win. So fantasy. You hear that? That's somebody's breaking into my apartment complex at 8 a.m. I don't know what's going on. I'll try to let that not distract me. Uh, Next is the What Happened Award, which is poor Edwin, who just everybody just sucked on his team. Like poor guy. It's just one of those weeks. The O Fish Sticks Award, it didn't affect anything because Judith kind of kicked his ass. But Eris starting Josh Hill, whoever that is, like I still don't know who that is, who had no targets. I even looked it up. Like Drew Brees did not even try to throw it to him. But he had players on his bench that he could have helped him with points, but he decided to start some guy named Josh Hill, and because it was the reverse of affirmative action, or affirmative action, because he's the white guy and everyone else is black. I don't know. Just that just happened. The No Yes Award was, to me, Marcus starting Percy Harvin instead of Torrey Smith, because Percy Harvin was the number 2 guy on a team that doesn't really have a good quarterback. Torrey Smith scored 10 touchdowns last year, so he has a much more proven track record of fantasy. So the fact that he started Harvin instead of Torrey Smith probably would be it. And because Percy Harvin ended up scoring 18 points or something like that, and Torrey Smith scored like 1. So that was smart move, buddy. Next, and finally, Your Mother Should Have Swallowed You Award, which is technically Edwin again, but I would not like for his mother to swallow him because his mother is my mother, and then that just reminds me of my brother not being alive and my mother doing inappropriate things. So that's kind of backfired on me because that just is all around disgusting. So wow, is something really happening right now? Should I evacuate? I don't care. Whatever. All right, moving on to week 2. Let's see. First game is Paul versus me, which I've dubbed the Battle of the Kickers because we have the 2 highest rated kickers. So the kickers are obviously going to be the major focal point of the matchup. Next is Brittany versus Chris, which is the 1 versus 9 teams, like the highest scoring, and then Chris is second lowest. So that should be a blowout. I don't know. We'll see. Chris, you really need to get rid of Reggie Wayne. He's not playing. Like, he's done. Like, you can keep him on your bench, but I don't know why you do it. It's hilarious to me. Next game is Eris versus Lamar, which sucks for Eris because he had Deshaun, and then Deshaun went down. And Dez went down, and then I had Andre Ellington who went down. So, I mean, welcome to fantasy. Like, it's starting to hit us. But I think Drew Brees probably has to kill it in order for him to kind of be close because Lamar did pretty well last week. So we'll see how that goes. Judith versus Marcus, and this is the most even matchup based on projections, which are still kind of the stupidest thing because I don't think at all the projections really take much into account. But they the projections, because it's a fun thing, it's the most even matchup. Marcus has the bigger question marks though because he has more injuries, so we kind of we'll see. And the last game is Edmund versus Andrew, which is projected. Yay! That was so annoying, and looks like somebody decided to bust the alarm. So I appreciate that to whoever at 8 a.m. is trying to rob people. Anyway, Edmund versus Andrew. The projections show that as the biggest blowout, which I don't think it's funny because it's the biggest blowout in Edwin's favor, but he scored the least points last week, so not sure what's going on there. So, I wrote down the only game with 2 losers. It's the only game that has 2 guys who lost last week, so one of them is going to end up at least 1-1. So I don't know why. I just thought that was interesting to write down. So that's everything for last week and this week. The only thing that I've done for the league is to change the schedules around because I noticed just going through my schedule that I don't play everybody, and then I looked and everybody else has that same thing where they don't play everybody. I think what ended up happening is because I moved up the playoffs from week 13 from week 14 to week 13, it took away 1 week, and then some people just did not play others. So I switched up the schedule to make sure that everybody played somebody else. So like again, I wasn't playing my brother at all in the season, so I switched up the schedule to make sure that I played him, and now everybody has somebody else that they're playing with. Whoever wasn't going to be playing them, everybody's now playing everybody else. So everybody has like a week where they can rib on whomever. And that's basically it. It's Thursday Night Football tonight, so we're already starting the new week. And that's basically it for me. Again, any questions or comments or anything like that, hit up the group chat, and I'll make another video next week. So until then, peace out.